Do y'all like funny stories? Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you some funny stories because I like to laugh. This preacher goes into church one Sunday morning, and he said, we're going to have a little bit of a different service this morning. I'm going to say a word, and whatever that word, whatever song it reminds you of, I want you to sing it. And they said, okay. And he said, cross. And they sang the old rugged cross. And he said, power. And they sang, there's power in the blood. And he said, grace. And they all sang Amazing Grace. And he said, sex. And all of a sudden, a little old lady stood up in the back pew and sang, precious memories. Okay. A man and his wife celebrating their 60th anniversary. And she said, oh, darling, this is such a wonderful, momentous occasion. Let's do something special. He said, okay, honey, what would you like to do? She said, let's run upstairs and make love. And he said, I can't do both. Two men sitting out in front of the rest home. And one looks at the other one and said, Earl, I'm sick. I'm tired, my bones ache. I'm nauseous. When I walk, I throw up. I'm sick. How do you feel? And Earl said, well, I feel just like a newborn baby. He said, a newborn baby? He said, yeah, no hair, no teeth, and I think I just wet my pants. Was failing math. He was in the 2nd grade, and his mother was so perplexed. And she was talking to her friend, and her friend said, listen, here's what you need to do. You need to send him to Catholic school, and they'll straighten him out. She said, really? She said, I'm serious. So she sent him. About 3 months later, report card time came, and with a little trepidation, she opened up the envelope, and Lord have mercy, he had made an A in math. She said, son, what happened? Was it the nuns? Was it the discipline? He said, Mama, the first day when I walked in that door and I saw that man hanging on that plus sign, I knew they meant business. Okay, keeping with the Catholic theme. Okay. A nun has a patient in the back of her car, and she's rushing to get to the hospital, but she runs out of gas. But lo and behold, she sees the station right up the street, and she rushes up there, and she says to the man, sir, have you got a gas can I can borrow? He said, oh ma'am, I am so sorry, we loaned it out. It'll be back in a few minutes, can you wait? She said, absolutely not. I'll go back to my car and I'll find something. She goes back and she's rummaging around in the trunk, and she finds a bedpan. She rushes back up there. She fills that bedpan up with gas. She rushes back. She's pouring that gas into that tank, and 2 guys are standing across the street, and one looks at the other one and says, if that thing starts, I'm turning Catholic. All right. A nun. Since you like these nuns so much. A nun is trying to hail a cab. And finally one stops. She gets in, and they're driving down the road. And the cab driver says to her, sister, I'd really like to ask you something, but I'm a little bit perplexed about it. I don't know whether to ask it or not. She said, oh, my son. Well, with everything I've heard and seen in my life, nothing you could say to me would surprise me. And he said, really? She said, yes. He said, well, it's always been my fantasy to kiss a nun. She said, really? He said, yes. She said, well, you got to promise me a couple of things. He said, absolutely. She said, first, you're single. He said, oh, I am so single. And she said, second, you're Catholic. He said, absolutely. She said, pull over there in that alley. They pulled over in the alley and she laid one on him. They're driving back down the road and he starts crying. She said, oh, my son, what's wrong? He said, oh, sister, I'm so ashamed I've lied to you. I'm not single. I'm married. I'm not Catholic. I'm Jewish. She said, oh, my son, don't worry about it. My name is Kevin and I'm on my way to a Halloween party. Oh my goodness, as I said, come on out here, guys, come back out here. Oh, they like my nun jokes. Yeah. Well, I was telling you about my husband, and I wanted to tell you now, he is 6'4", right, guys? Yeah. They'll tell you. Ronnie and I give cheek-to-cheek dancing a whole new meaning.